Hello and welcome to After Hours. Wow, today we have a really exciting person joining us via Skype from California. She has written about half a dozen books, a couple of which have been bestsellers. Let's see, there is Loving What Is, and I Need Your Love, Is It True? And 1,000 Names for Joy. She's developed a process of self-inquiry known as The Work, and it is quickly becoming world famous. It's a process that shows people how to stop suffering. She's been hailed a spiritual innovator for the new millennium. She has been interviewed and endorsed by some very famous and influential people. So without any further ado, welcome to the show, Byron Katie.
Hi, Rhonda. Thank you. I love being here with you today. Thank you for the invitation.
Oh, well, we're so pleased that you were able to join us. It's my understanding a lot of people haven't heard of the work, and they don't know how this what the process is and how this came about. And from my understanding, you were at the height of some mental anguish some 20 or so years ago, and at that point, you had a revelation or an epiphany, and
Yes.
It worked. And then you developed from that the work, and it's helped countless people all over the world. Can you maybe just tell us how, a little bit? I know you've probably, talked about this so many times, but there's so many people out there that don't know how this work came about and what it is.
Well, I love sharing it. It's after years of depression, with my mind was telling me there was no way out, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And eventually, I was so depressed, I didn't believe that I was even valuable enough to sleep in a bed. So one morning, as I lay sleeping on the floor next to my bed,
Oh my goodness.
on the floor, dead asleep, a cockroach crawled foot, and I opened my eyes. In place of all that darkness, all that depression, was a joy that I can't begin to describe. It was amazing and radical. But here's what's important about it. I saw in that moment that when I believed my thoughts, I suffered. And when I did not believe my thoughts, I didn't suffer. It was like in that moment they were gone, and then I noticed I was just slammed with them, and I got it, and it was a gift. I received it, and it changed everything. It changed the way I saw everything. So I am sharing this gift to anyone that's open to it, and it's always free at thework.com. So if it has value at all for any of your viewers, then they can find it. There it is, and judge for themselves.
And I
it works for everyone whose mind is open for it. So that's the invitation.
And I've been watching on YouTube, and I've seen hours of you walking people through the work, and I'm just spellbound, and I'm amazed by how well it works. And the first few times I kind of tried to question a few of my own thoughts, and I didn't really do it right because I was a little bit confused on how it works. But I sort of, after enough time of questioning myself, I kind of got the rhythm and the flow of how it is that the questions work. And it turned my thinking around, I guess, how I felt about some other people that had been in my life in the past. It changed my attitude towards them. And I think what happens is resentment leaves, and just sort of a loving acceptance sort of settles in its place.
Yes. It's like if all the resentments have fallen away, we see that person through in very different eyes, as you said. And oh my goodness, what a wonderful way to see people, not through the eyes of resentment.
Right, right. And it's my understanding, and from what I've seen on YouTube, that the work, this process with the 4 questions and the turnaround works for people who are upset with themselves, who are in a scary situation.
Yes.
Maybe they're going through divorce, maybe they've lost a job. I mean, this is everybody out there. This is all of us at some point.
Yes.
And this really seems to help. And it may not, I guess, change the actual situation you're in, but it gives you coping tools and it calms you down, and that suffering ends. And that's really, I guess.
It shows us. It shows us reality from a sane mind, rather than a mind that is putting these stories upon reality, the stories that we're believing. So if we don't believe the thoughts, then there is an entirely new situation there.
Right, right.
And it really shifts the world as we understand the world. And it shifts the people in our life because we're looking at them through our own understanding. And when the mind shifts, we see them differently, and we think it's them that changed. But actually, what we're believing has changed, so that gives us a whole different identity over there. For example, if my daughter and I had an argument, and then I questioned what I was believing about my daughter, then the way I see her is completely different. So I could say my daughter has really changed, but actually it's the way I see my daughter. Now, the way I see my daughter, it shifts very dramatically through my experience. It has shifted very dramatically. So the way I interact with her is different. So she really does change because now she sees me differently. Right. And so we have this amazing relationship where we become each other's teachers, and all we're doing really is having conversations that are growing us as we meet each other and love and raise my grandchildren together.
And what amazes me is how much we see every other person in our lives and every situation through this filter. We seem to imprint our own self somehow on it. So we never see a situation for what it is, but it's always based on what we've experienced. Right?
Yes, what we believe it to be, and then that's what we experience. For example, if I'm walking down the street, it's a wonderful day, and all of a sudden this man is coming toward me, and I start getting this vibe, and I start to become not trust, I don't trust him, and maybe I want to cross the street, but I'm afraid to cross the street, and all of a sudden there's all this fear. Mm-hmm. Now, out of my clear mind, I'm walking down the street, it's a beautiful day, and this man is coming toward me, and the way I see him, because I don't believe my thoughts about him, my unkind thoughts about him, the way I see him is entirely different. Right. So I'm no longer afraid. So then I have to ask myself, was that man scaring me, or is it what I was believing about that man that was scaring me? Right. And of course the answer is very simple, is what I was believing about this man. Mm-hmm. I was judging, and he's this perfect stranger. So these judgments in our head, they are our heaven or hell. Right. Now, if he is a dangerous man, let's say, then where is it that we are able to deal with difficulties at the highest level? When our mind is clear, or when we're very, very frightened?
Right, right.
of course, we deal best in situations clear and upfront. We're practical, and it's not just wisdom that's available, it's the real deal.
Right.
We're not stupid. We know how to live our lives. And just like you just took a sip of water, I'm assuming water, and just took a sip of
Actually, no,
water.
It's vodka. No, I'm kidding.
So you just took a sip of water.
Yes.
We know how to do that.
Right.
And we know how to cross the street without fear. And we know how to say hello and good afternoon. And, living out our, that fearless mind that is
Isn't that like the authentic?
A caring, balanced mind.
Right, sure. Isn't that like the authentic self? The authentic self before we allow different experiences to change us. Could we just maybe go through what the process is with the 4 questions and the turnaround, maybe just explain how that works?
Good. So let's take that same example. Heaven only knows where that example came from, but there it is. So this man's walking, I'm walking down the street, beautiful day. We can all envision that in our mind's eye now. And then this man is coming toward me, and I have the thought, he's dangerous.
Right.
He looks shady.
Right.
He's there's something off about him. Okay, see, my whole demeanor, it has moved from beautiful day to not trusting. I'm experiencing what I'm believing about that man.
Right.
So he's dangerous. Okay, now let's question it using the 4 questions and turnaround that we call the work. Okay, so he's dangerous. Is it true? Can we absolutely know that it's true, that he's dangerous? Okay, let's see. I've never met him before in my life. I've never seen him before. Can I absolutely know that it's true he's dangerous? Well, actually, if I'm going to answer that question honestly, I can't know.
Right.
And it doesn't mean I'm not still afraid of him. It's just that I can't know he's dangerous. Okay, 3rd question. Notice how you react when you believe the thought, he's dangerous. That man is dangerous. Okay? So notice we begin to look at him suspiciously, all those emotions in my body. We saw how my body language shifted.
Yep.
It's, okay, now the 4th question, who would I be in this moment without the thought he's dangerous? Okay, now I'm looking at it and he's coming toward me. Now I'm looking at him without the thought he's dangerous. Okay, without the thought he's dangerous. Okay, I just see a man coming at me and he's not very well dressed. And actually I can see that his face looks like he's really considering something, like he's lost in thought. And that's not a mean look on his face. I can see now that he's just maybe intensely focused, and he's not even looking at me.
Right.
In fact, he may not even have seen me yet. In other words, I'm not guessing, I'm just looking at that man. Now, if I'm doing the same work later after the fact, I'm still going to hold that man in my mind's eye as I'm doing the work. So either way, now we're going to turn it around. He's dangerous. Let's say he's dangerous. He's going to hurt me.
So we do the opposite.
Turned around. Yes, turn it to, we find opposites in those turnarounds. Good, Rhonda. So he's dangerous. He's going to hurt me. Turned around. He's not dangerous. He's not going to hurt me. Okay, now I'm just going to contemplate that. Okay, so far he's not. And actually it looks like he's not even looking at me. So, I can see that. And it still doesn't mean he's not going to hurt me. I'm just noticing. Now another opposite. He's dangerous. He's going to hurt me. What about he's helpful? Mm-hmm. Or he's not dangerous, he's going to help me. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I'm looking at him and You know, it's not impossible if I needed help that he wouldn't help me.